Okay, today I'm going to do a first impressions video on my new TYM T474 cab hydrostatic here. Just got this Saturday, 4/2 of 22. Now it's currently Tuesday, 4/5/22. I got to use it this weekend to dig out a stump and move a bunch of brush and scrap metal around and do a little dirt work. And I also got to open up my barn door to 14 by 14, and the loader bucket reached high enough to where average tall guy, 5'10", head level was with the actual header up there at 14 foot from right here on the ground, which I thought was pretty damn impressive. I've lifted up the entire side of the barn that we cut out in one chunk and took it to the burn pile with the grapple. With the grapple, I absolutely love, and I think it's fantastic on everything I've used. We used a pallet fork to stand on with a skid. The backhoe did fine. Had enough power to do what needed to be done. And I mean, that's probably not excavator power, but it had enough power. It will literally throw this machine around. So I would say the backhoe has plenty of power. That ripped the pine tree stumper out of the ground. That was probably a 35 to 40 foot tall pine tree. I cut it down, ripped it right out of the ground. As far as the tractor goes, so far it's been fine. Exactly my expectations of what I thought it was going to be. The inside of the cab is really nice. Heat and air work great. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool, so I can't say anything about the AC exactly, but I did have it on when it got to like 68, 70 degrees outside, because it got a little toasty in the cab, and that worked just fine. Heat works great. It works great. The radio is awesome. You can hear that radio on the other side of the property. All the ergonomics of the controls, fantastic. I love that part. I love the all throttle. I have not had a PTO attachment on it yet. I got a bush hog 6-foot tiller to stick on the PTO. Haven't had a chance to use that yet, so I can't speak on that. But so far, everything else I've really enjoyed with it. The loader has all kinds of power. It's insane how much this thing will pick up. I'm going to have the tires loaded this weekend, because even with that backhoe on the back, I actually picked up on this old post right here. It wasn't old, it was the original barn post, and it literally snapped a 6x6 barn post, which is literally this exact post. Snapped that thing right off, 6x6, without even much trying at all. It actually picked up the back of the tractor with the backhoe on. That weighs 1,500 pounds. So, overall, fantastic loader. I love the skid steer quick attach. I think I like that better than the John Deere quick attach I'm used to with my dad's stuff. Just, you don't have to pull the pins. It's just super simple. Nothing to worry about losing on that part of it, so I really like that. Love the grapple. Third function that comes on it from the factory like that with the buttons on the control. Works phenomenal. Absolutely love that. And done everything I could ever dream of it doing. So besides that, I have zero complaints of it. Works exactly as any other John Deere or Case or any other tractor I've ever driven. I think it actually drives better. I'm trying not to be biased here. If I have an issue, I'll let you know. And just trying something new. I think this is going to be the next Kubota in 10 to 15 years as far as the brand goes. Been a lot of people selling their John Deeres and Kubotas to go to these, and this is the same company that makes the Rural King tractors, most of the Mahindras, Branson, and I think a couple other odd and end brands. Went through TYM for the dealership network, and also you get cheaper pricing, and then only through TYM can you really get this 474 model, which is 48 horsepower. And if you're trying to compare tractors, the closest comparison to John Deere, because I just know the John Deere model is the best, is a 3046R. And this exact tractor configuration with a 3046R is what I was quoted around several different dealerships. It was around the $75,000 to $78,000 mark before tax. And I got this tractor here for in the 40 range with all the attachments and everything as it sits right now. The financing isn't the most favorable, but they covered insurance in it too, so it was all right. It wasn't bad enough to make me walk away, but it's, you know, it's obviously not Kubota or John Deere 0% financing, but I can't complain. So, you know, that's the only thing John Deere hasn't beat in Kubota is a 0% financing. Where these you're going to be looking at between 3.5% to 6%, depending on who you go with and whatnot, maybe more than that. I just know that's what good credit typically gets you, depending on what's going on, you know, with the interest rates and whatnot. But still, I mean, I saved $35,000 and got attachments over the equivalency of a 3046R. And I can tell you right now, a 3046R is not going to have the loader lifting capacity or height that this tractor has. I can absolutely guarantee you that. My dad's 4724 series, I think, is pretty equivalent loader-wise to this one, and that's the 4 series tractor. This is technically supposed to be a 3 series. So, highly impressed with that part. I think both of our backhoes are pretty similar as far as digging-wise, power-wise, and digging depth. His John Deere backhoe might have a little more power, but it's been a while since I ran it, so I really can't fully determine that. I'd have to run it again. But I mean, I'm trying to be honest here. His might have a little more digging power. I do like John Deere's setup on the backhoe where it's closer to the back of the tractor, but it's really isn't bad. It's bad. I backed this thing all around tight areas and didn't have any problem getting around and whatnot. And one thing I do like about it being set off like it is with another subframe is you don't have to take the 3-point arms and shit off like you do on the John Deere. And it's really super simple. You just pull 2 pins out, use your hydraulics, and collect under your 2 hoses right there. I actually think you're supposed to pull the pin out for the drag link, just in case. I think it hits the end of that pin. So 3 pins, and the backhoe, you just pull forward, it comes off, and then you do the same thing reverse to put the backhoe back on the tractor. So super simple design, keeps the 3-point on there, and it really isn't has not been in my way or been an issue. It even loads up on the trailer better than my dad's tractor does. His 4720 Deere. But John Deere does keep their backhoe closer to the tractor, which depends on your opinion, I guess. I think it's actually better with how Deere does it as far as that goes. But as far as coming on off the tractor and not having to take stuff apart like your 3-point links and whatnot, I would say this design's better if you like that opinion more. So that's opinionated. But otherwise, I like the tire size on this thing compared to the Deere. You know, the only reason I'm comparing Deere mainly is because I've been around John Deere quite a bit. Kubota, I've been around somewhat, not tons. And as far as the New Holland LS and Coyotes, I've been around them hit or miss. I've not really operated too many of them, so I really can't speak upon those other than specs I see online and what other people have to say about them. And some of that stuff comes to me watching the Good Works Tractors videos as well. But yeah, and the windows and doors and looking out of the cab, you can see everything real well. It's got standard rear and front windshield wiper and sprayer. The only thing I wish they could work on yet is tucking these hoses in a little better than this, so you don't catch something on them. And then my third function hoses are hanging out a little further than I personally like. So I guess that's one thing I could complain about. But every brand I think I've damn near seen, maybe except for Deere, Kubota, had them hanging out like that. So that's about the only thing I think I can see that I could complain on. One thing I've noticed is if you compare, this is a new model that has came out with compared to some of the older models I've seen have some stuff break on them. Like the 3-point arms down here, I've seen some of them tear out the frame. Where this now has another brace right there with the 2 bolts going up there for that. They beefed up the loader pivots right here where I've seen them break or not break, but bend on some of the older models. Trying to think something else I've seen them. Oh yeah, the Backhoe. I've seen almost every Backhoe rip the bucket right here, and they actually gusseted that on these new models right here. They have ripped the buckets. The bucket, the lid just splits right here, and they put these gussets on there since then to strengthen that up. I've seen a couple more, but I'm trying to remember where I've seen them at. I know one thing also, they added steps. I know at least the Roll King tractors I've seen don't have the step getting on the Backhoe, which is really handy. Trying to think of anything else I can think of off the top of my head that I've seen it was better than some of the others I've seen if they did updates anyways on these specific TYMs versus Roll King and all that stuff. So, oh yeah, the fuel tank's nice, having a fuel tank back here. We're not having to lean over a hood or something like that. And even the bigger tractors, the fuel tank is right here, which does have a problem with it being right there, is if you happen to run something into it, that could suck. But it's better than having to get up on top of the tractor and pour it in a hood like the other ones do, like every Deere I've ever seen. The whole hood pops up, which is really neat. Everything comes up one motion if you pop the grill forward. So everything's very easy to access, and with these engines being Cummins designed, all your filters, fluid checks, everything's all right in the exact same spot on the right side over there. So that's really, really neat. See, I'm trying to think one last thing for end of this video, if I could remember anything else I've seen them beef up. Oh yeah, right here. They beefed up the loader bracket here and added some gussets to it, made it thicker down through here. It used to bend forward, and I think with that added gusset right there, plus all the metal's thicker from some of the ones I've seen do that, I don't think that's gonna bend forward no more. But otherwise, very solid tractor. I like it real well. I mean, you can't complain for the money you spend on this, at least when you compare it to the competitors. And yeah, Deere has and Kubota has their more service centers out there and a resale value, but that's kind of becoming a thing of the past because all the tractors are keeping their value now. And this brand right here, people are selling them a year or two old and getting what they paid out of them brand new a year or two later with 200 or 300, 400 hours on them, etc. And this brand's up and coming quickly and becoming a fast growing tractor across the nation. So that could be something that changes, but as of right now, Deere and Kubota definitely have a heck of a lot more dealer network, a lot closer to people, get stuff fixed possibly faster if they have the parts as well. Everybody has the part shortage going on, everything right now. So, but I'd opened the cab, I got locked right now. But you can get on different other videos and see the inside of the cab, whatnot. It's got a really nice radio right there, and all your controls right there at the top. Different speeds for the windshield wipers, misting and whatnot. And I really like the interior of the tractor. And if you got kids, they can fit right here nicely and sit and do your thing, and they're not totally in the way. So that's neat. I think it has more cab room than the Deeres, at least I've been around. I know when I used to try to ride with a kid in a Deere, it didn't seem like you had enough room. And then other than that, you have your cell phone charger plug in. I guess there's a charger over here where you set your phone, and that cup over there, that little spot, and there's supposed to be an automatic charger if your phone's compatible to that makes your phone charge. I don't know, haven't got to try that. I don't think my phone's compatible to that, but that's something I keep seeing on the forums. But as I use my 3-point along with my bush hog and tiller, I'll update and keep doing videos, and I'll let you for sure know if I find something that's an issue with the tractor. And I'll be honest as possible about it. I actually would like to get my magnet and confirm for sure, but I'm pretty positive these have a cast iron rear end in them. And a lot of the other Deere's going on mostly aluminum, and there's been a lot of people complaining about that. And by the way, don't take me as being a John Deere hater. I'd take a John Deere. I was all about John Deere. I grew up with John Deere tractors, and But I was like, man, these things are getting expensive. So I started doing some research, and I really didn't know anything much about TYM until I did a bunch of research. And after comparing all the brands and prices and what you're getting and the specs, I decided, I'm going to try this tractor out. And I thought, it could be a mistake. It still could be a mistake, but we'll see what happens. So far, highly impressed, and I got it from Smith Enterprises in North Carolina. They brought it to me. Just because that nobody could touch their prices anywhere around. And I got a couple, there's like 2 dealerships where I live out here in Indiana, but they're both like 2 hours away from me, so that part kind of sucks. But hopefully it don't need worked on. If it does, it is what it is. But I also got a deal with that dealer. How it works is if I can fix it, as long as it's not internal in the engine or transmission, I just send them a picture of it, and I get the part sent to me overnighted or something of that case, where I get the part pretty quickly and fix it and go on from there, or take it to a local tractor shop as long as it's not over a certain labor rate, and which I believe I was told $75 an hour, and they'll float the bill for it to be fixed as well. Now, if it's internal in the engine or transmission, I was told it needs to go to a TYM dealer. But so far, I actually haven't seen anybody have any issues like that with these tractors at all. The worst thing I've heard is an issue with the computer not allowing the tractor to regen, which is an issue I've seen with every brand on the market. So that's the worst issue I've seen, besides bolts or simple stuff breaking. That wasn't a huge deal. I have seen a few of them break the front axle off, mainly on the small glorified lawn tractors. Break the front axle off right there. It wasn't actually like shearing the axle in half. It was just the part that turns back and forth in there with your front tires bolted to it. It pops out of the axle. I think I've seen most of them either covered by warranty or they had the $800 fix, something of that nature. I don't know exactly. It's just some of them I've seen on the forums from people talking about it. But that's my gist on the tractor, and I'll keep you updated and keep doing this, and hopefully this helps. And if I have a problem, you'll be the first to know.